Thank you for watching News Echoes. We bring you African news and analysis for the global audience. My name is Shegun Johnson, and I'm glad you're watching. Today, we want to look at very serious issues, especially jailing the Director General of a major political party in Nigeria. I'm sure many of you have had that one. But to discuss this issue, I have all the way from Lagos, our special lady, Bidding, and you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Thanks for having me. Hello, viewers.
Yes, one of these days you'll tell us more about your charity organization that you want to raise fund for. We are all interested in that. But for now, we're going to be discussing Nigerian issues. The face of Toronto is here, Sir George Chuku. Sir George, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, Dr. Johnson, and good morning, viewers around the world. Welcome from Toronto, Canada.
Yeah, and the last but not the least is our man, Mark in Milan. Mark, you're welcome to the program.
Morning, Dr. Shegun. Morning, Sir George, all the way from Toronto. Say hi.
Good morning.
Morning, Billy.
Morning, good to have you here.
Yes, the whole Nigerian political world was shocked a few days ago when the Federal High Court in Abuja jailed Doyin Okupe. He's been a name in Nigeria for a while in Nigerian politics. He was jailed for 2 years with an option of fine. Some have said, why give him fine? And then the fine was, I think, 500,000 naira. That's like a chicken chain. But let's just get straight to the matter. The court jailed Mr. Okupe, the Director General of Peter Obi's Labour Presidential Campaign Council, for money laundering offenses. Sir George, how did that sound so far? What are these money laundering offenses? To what extent has it damaged Peter Obi, who is coming on a note of righteousness? Tell us more, Sir George.
Well, if you read the story very well, you'll understand that it was just a story that was basically implemented in order to shoot the political party, Labour Party, and make sure that there's some kind of way something negative is happening. So I believe that it was a story that was made up, and the strategy they used is to appoint a lady from the same area, Justice Ojukwu, to be the one to deliver the blow to the man. So they know also that with this, it might look like, if Peter Obi is so sanctimonious according to,
yes,
yeah, that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
If he's claiming to be, why would you have somebody that way to be your Director General? But the point is that Peter Obi himself said that it will not slow him down. Neither is he going to, stop his movement. And so we know it's the hand of other parties that are doing the same thing, trying to bring a political blow to him and slow him down. That's what I think it is.
Thank you. Bidi, is it true that Doyin Okupe has resigned? There is a letter of resignation floating about social media. I don't know if this letter is authentic or not, but addressed to Peter Obi, saying that I just have to leave, step aside, that someone else may come in. But so far from my diary, I've not heard of any other DG campaign for Peter Obi. Has he resigned or not, Bidi?
The letter is very, very authentic. He has resigned. He actually resigned. And that brings me to the issue at hand. It says a lot about who Peter Obi said he is. And your body language as a leader
Yeah.
a lot to people around you. This issue you're talking about happened 2 years ago during the Jonathan period, and the case has been on. Everybody knows. Do you understand? And the case, I don't even want to go about it. The money they saw him with. Doyin Okupe is a servant. Remember, he's not a civil servant. He's an appointee. And as an appointee, whatever your principal asks you to do, you will do it. You understand? So this one they're saying that they will get caught with money that is not supposed to. When your principal, a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, sent you on errand, you have no right to say you will not do that. So that's not what I'm going to. But we haven't seen the personality of P2B, the person he's working with. You know that I cannot go through with this image working with this man. So the best thing I should do is to resign. Going by what P2B as a person believing, he actually has resigned.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me go to the seat of power. Dr. Sita Anyemeka now joining us. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sheldon.
I know
Thank
you will have a comprehensive.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Yeah, of
Good
this
yes.
view of Dr. Okupe. He's been around for a while. His name has been in PDP, now in LP, and now he's got himself involved. Sita, what's your take? Are you hearing me?
Something beautiful just happened to Nigerian politics, and believe me, is the best that will happen in a long time. Two things. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Dr. Johnson, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
I can hear you very well.
Yeah, I guess there's a gap.
Yes, there's a gap.
There's a gap. But we can hear you. If you can still hear us, and we want to hear you. He said something good has happened to the Nigerian politics. I guess that something good will be the resignation, isn't it?
Of Doyin Okupe. It's a very good one, and it's setting an example. And that is a big one for Labour Party and for P2B. Because if this was to happen in PDP or APC, we would have been, coming up with blames, shifting blame, giving an excuses. But being the kind of person P2B is, and Doyin Okupe understands him very well. This is what this man stands for. I cannot be doing this and saying I'm the DG of his campaign. It's going to affect him. Let me resign. And that's an horrible thing for him to do. I commend him for that. And I commend Labour Party. And this is a big thing for Nigerian. If we can go on this direction, it's a big win for us.
Thanks, BD. Mark, you think Labour Party will get away with this? Because I know PDP and APC, not that they're better off in the eyes of Nigerians, but they will milk it. Your DG campaign is this, is that. First, Keamo, has he reacted? We are waiting. Mark.
Yes, Dr. Sheldon. It's a serious thing we're talking about, and I'm happy you're bringing this up. Yes, the LP party actually described this whole thing as a syndicated attack on them, because we have other cases also of drug peddling, drug conviction on other other politicians, and nobody has followed up on that. Anyway, Doyin Okupe is an ally of Obi. They've been friends from PDP back in the days before the two of them now joined Labour LP party. And the information also is that he paid a fine of 13 million to escape being jailed. Yes, and Doyin Okupe has come a long way anyway. We remember, like BD said, he was involved with Jonathan Goodluck, his AD camp to Jonathan Goodluck's administration. And we see a lot of things. So what is in this now is the fact that justice has to be balanced. Also, they are saying that the man, that the Sambo Dasuki that gave that money has nothing on him. Nobody is checking on him for violating Money Laundering Act 2, and it's just this man that has been picked on. It's a good one that we are beginning to look a little bit transparent in Nigeria, but it should be balanced. That's what we want to say. Thank you.
Well, Sir George, what will you say to a party that has not vetted his director general before coming? Some of these people, yes, it may be witch hunting at a time like this, but when you are presenting yourself as holier than thou, at least if some form of vetting should have gone ahead. Doyin Okupe was noted to receive contracts from Benue State that he did not perform. He's still in the burner. But now that some things have caught up with him, you think a Labour Party will be able to rig Marol out of these ones?
Well, you see, it's not a matter of, it's just the way that it was done in the first place. Number one, we have several cases like Mark mentioned regarding other people that is more serious than this. Number two, the way that it did happen, it wasn't like he was in complete and direct violation of it. It's an implication. You know, if you look at it from that standpoint, he was directed to do something, and so it's not like he went ahead and constructed a criminal act and then did this and did that. This is more like a conspiracy type of theory that they used, and they strategically placed the right person in there from the southeast to make sure that it will not look like it was a political witch hunt. But that's exactly what everybody understands it is. So
do we know whether other big political parties are making a great meal out of this? Anybody of note has spoken from APC or PDP or NNPP?
Oh, they're going to clamor. Believe it or not,
they're going to lap on it.
They would lap on it and then they're going to use it. But the point is this: if Peter Obi is doing his campaign is a general campaign of the corruption, complete corruption in Nigeria. So we believe that it is a temporary situation, but they did it in such a way that this late in this political game they are playing, that they did it at the right time when he's being all over the place, attacking everybody, attacking the system itself. So when they do something like this, it's supposed to slow him down. But I don't think it's going to slow him down.
Okay. Bidi, you are on the ground. Just before we leave this topic, you are on the ground. The supporters of LP, were they downcast, or they saw it as conspiracy theory, or is it time to shape up our personal lives? What are the reactions of the odd common people, in essence?
They saw it as a conspiracy, like you said. Many of them have been saying that this is pure witch hunting to the party. But this morning, many of them were really happy when they heard about the resignation. So for them, they feel like they've done what most people would not do. Like and Mike said, we all know that in APC we have the cases of fraud and drug, and no one is talking about that. In PDP, we have cases of embezzlement and crime. We're not just talking about members, we're talking about their principal, their presidential candidates, and no one is talking about that. Do you understand? So
yeah,
Labour Party members, to them, having heard about the step Doyin Okupe have taken this morning, they were really happy. And for them, they think there is nothing to be afraid of. They're still on point.
But if you really, Dr. Johnson, if you really think about this, this is exactly the way the civilized world, does their things. Because when you have somebody who is, whether it's direct or indirect, and something like this happens, most of these civilized countries, you will see the individual, rather than hurting the party, will just instantly resign, which is not the case in Nigeria. So that's a very positive, direct move that they made, for him to go ahead and resign immediately. And we hope that such a case will be with others.
That's a tall order. Dr.
And
Sita, glad to see you again. Yes, Dr. Sita, we were waiting for your view before we change this topic.
Thank you. Almost everything has been discussed. As our judge just said it, I got a call from my son for the first time since politics started, that he had that somebody resigned because of an accusation. I said, yes, it's true. And then he says to me, well, there's a new Nigeria coming then. But there's something else. Anybody who is responsible for orchestrating this has just shot themselves at the foot, because Labour Party is now warming up to insist that everybody involved in any form of abuse, whether it's a drug peddler, whether it's money laundering, whether it's someone in office that stole money. Yes, they are ready now, because this will not stop until everybody is accused and tried. I got a call this morning, and I'm very excited, because whether we like it or not, this is good for us, very good for us. And P2B has said to all of us that corruption is not right. And like Sir George said, this wasn't a corruption issue. Dr. Shegun, this wasn't even an issue until last week. They just turned it into a crime. They, and then doing that, they have also involved every other person who is involved in the presidency, in the ruling council, everybody who has been involved in any kind of below the line action or activity will answer for it before elections. I love it.
Okay. As a man in Abuja, do you think that other senior party leaders of other parties, are they saying anything, or they are afraid that this may cascade to them? Dr. Sita.
Oh, no, they are saying through their surrogates. They are already talking. They are already saying, just like any other person will say, Dr. Doyin Okupe is a brilliant physician. He's a doctor of all sorts, and he has done so well in the days of PDP. As a matter of fact, his name used to evoke some respect from all of us. So people are saying now, oh, we didn't even know that this is the way you guys are. Even your leader, maybe we should look more. We might find something. This is the result that they are looking for. But the truth is that the Labour Party people are happy, because this has opened up the can of worms, and that is politics for you. Once we we rest on this and we're talking about it, all those surrogates they will return to bed. But what is happening now is that the campaign is continuing. Everybody's going about his own duty, but the issue is that this has been said. It has happened very quickly. Doyin paid 30 million, resigned, because that is the beauty. Somebody from P2B's party resigned from a very important position because something was said about him, not because he did it.
Okay, it's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Godwin Ibe, all the way from Moscow, Russia. Dr. Ibe, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm sure you must have been hearing some of the things my colleagues have been saying, wonderful things here. I'm taking the straight position. Okupe has been found guilty. He has resigned. And whether it has affected Labour Party or not, I do not know. We are yet to know. BD from Lagos said no. But your question, as I want to change this topic, your question, Dr. Ibe, is what is good for the goose is good for the gander. If Okupe could resign from Labour Party for what has been a challenge to him, should it not happen in other parties? What do you say, Godwin?
Yes. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. I don't know if you can hear me or see me. Yes. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Yes. So if it's happened to the Labour Party, well, one would expect that the same to go for other parties. But I'm not so concerned about him for the reason that he's not our candidate. We want Dr. Peter Obi to address us in diaspora, especially in Russia, maybe SSM News Echoes as well. Address us and let us know from his mouth what exactly is going on, what he plans to do, how is this related to our future, not the future of the campaign and what they do. I'm more interested in the development of Nigeria and carrying Nigerians forward. If this guy has a crime, but he's helping, he's representing the interests of Nigerians in any way or form, then I would definitely support him, even though I won't support his actions, but I'll be rooting for him because he represents the interests of Nigeria. So I'm looking forward to Dr. Peter Obi addressing us and telling us how first of all, his promises to us, our diaspora voting bill, and how this situation affects us, positively or negatively.
Well, it appears Dr. Osita said he has spoken. Dr. Osita, he has spoken since, hasn't he?
I believe that he spoke. Yes. Actually, he did. He did.
Yes, he has spoken.
He has spoken and said that it will not affect his political ambition. Neither is he going to slow him down. That he will continue to move forward. So one thing about this is that he is very resilient. Yes, it is. It looks like a blow on him. Just like when we discussed about the APC Jagaban and his criminal acts in the United States of America. He flew for a little while, but just like Nigeria and our own system is, nobody is talking about that anymore. It was a 1 week type of situation, and that's what this one is going to be. The only thing is that the good thing that came out of this, once history was made when Doyin resigned from his position. And that is showing you the type of country we're heading for. And that's what everybody should be clapping about.
Okay, I think let me just make a summary for the rest of the world to hear. The Nigerians in diaspora, at least in this forum, have welcomed the situation of Doyin Okupe resigning, and we hope this will be a new trend in the Nigerian politics, especially among other political parties. Those who have their skeletons being rooted out, now shameful about it, should just go ahead and copy what Doyin Okupe did. That is the position of diasporans on this matter. I hope that will be picked up by the mainline media, and they will be able to tell the rest of the world. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. But let's just move on closely. In the last 7 or so days, it appears that Tinubu has gallivanted, and many more people are coming to his rallies, and it appears that Tinubu has closed up whatever gap that was between Labour Party and the APC. 20 days ago, it will have been Labour Party and Peter Obi all the way. But now it appears that Tinubu has closed up the gap, even in rallies and whatever you say, whether they paid them money or not. We saw mammoth crowd and the rest. You are in Lagos, Bidi, and will you say that is a fair assessment that Tinubu is about to overtake Peter Obi in the polls, the Nigerian polls?
Well, Tinubu actually, like you said, is actually closing up, but overtaking Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi, that I don't know. If you look at what Tinubu is doing presently, you find out that he's using the stakeholder meeting and rally. That's actually what he has been using, and it's actually working for him. If you look at it closely, it's actually working for him. But taking over is what I might not be able to tell you here. But I know he has adopted a different way, stakeholder meeting and rally, and it's actually working for him.
Thank you very much. Sir George, what will you say? Tinubu is coming from the rear to come and score a goal. Even though the youth may not particularly agree with him, it looks like all he is bringing out all his old men, and they are making the route. What do you say?
Well, I mean, look at it from this way. The Nigerian politics has been this way for the longest. Most of these youths, they were born into that type of system of government. in the past, when the social media and the internet was not around, you will say that they might not know what is really going on around the world and can't compare Nigeria with other countries. But as it is today, everybody is on the news because it's right on in the palm of their hands. They see what's going on around the world. They know the state of other countries' economy and the welfare of other countries, and they know what is to be expected of Nigeria, not from within, but also internationally. So I can guarantee you that popularity in Nigerian politics today does not mean, that you are making an inroad into the political system when it comes to winning. I've already said it before. Hopefully this time Nigerian politics will be true, but the political system in Nigeria is nothing but a sham.
Yeah, thank you, Mark.
It is a sham. I've been there, I've done that, I was involved in it. I saw the internal corruption and things that were happening. So, but right now, yes, indeed, he's very popular and he's doing strategically, he's moving, but that does not mean that when it comes down to if the election is fair and just the way it's supposed to be, you will have nowhere to go.
Thank you. Thank you, Sir George. Mark in Milan, do you share that sentiment? It appears Tinubu is overtaking. I say it appears. I'm not saying exactly it is. What do you say?
Yes, it appears he's gaining some crowd. Yeah, but let's put something straight. I would like to say this, that sometimes the media shows us something else, but something else will be playing on the underground. Take note, we were saying before this time that somehow the media is friendly to APC, PDP presidential candidates. So they put more spotlight on these two parties, and we see this thing. But some on the ground, other things are playing out. But anyway, what we are seeing, since the media is showing us this, we're seeing some real gathering of people. We hope those gathering, those crowd will turn out to voters for them. But take note also, this is Nigeria, this is Africa, where people like gathering. Sometimes they gather because they want to eat.
People like gathering. Why?
Like gathering, people don't have jobs.
There could be free pure water, you know what I mean?
There could be free drink, free food. And it's a time to also see some old friends, talk some gist, get along.
Not for the party manifesto.
Yes, sir. I mean, we know how it plays out. It's a sad thing actually. A lot of people don't have jobs, no employment is zero. So such gatherings sometimes becomes a way of keeping up with the Joneses, like they say. Mixing up with old friends.
The Joneses are my friends. Dr. Ibe, you think it's not time for the Labour Party and Peter Obi to roll out some shishi? Because it appears that the shishi that Tinubu is rolling out is bringing people at the end of the day may determine how they vote. Once the vote is cast, there's nothing else you can do. Is it time to roll out shishi by Peter Obi if there is any shishi somewhere?
It's impossible to organize politics in Nigeria without spending money, especially media coverage and optics. The optics of an event, not how the event really happened, but how it's presented, and of course, highlighting your competitive advantages to the voter base to remind them, because when something is repeated and repeated, even if it's not true, most people would think that since it wasn't challenged, then therefore it is true. So a lot of money needs to be spent to push the truth, to bring the truth to the limelight. I am not saying that all the other candidates don't have truth, but what I'm trying to say is that every political candidate needs to spend money, both on campaign, on portraying out their plans, their goals, their manifesto, especially the key selling points. And of course, concerning, I understand what you mean, the exchanging money, in backstage. I do not recommend that, but it's sometimes it's inevitable. But we always encourage Nigerians to vote their conscience, irrespective of whether they take or they do not take things backstage, but they eventually vote their conscience, and of course to encourage them to get their PVCs.
For a political party like Labour, the money should not be payment for votes. It will just be payment for refreshment. Having traveled from Zamfara to Kaduna, you need transport money, you need pure water money, you need gala money, you need, so I mean, refreshment money to refresh those who are coming to rallies. I think will be appropriate, but to pay for votes is what everybody is against. And so will the definition of refreshment money and payment for votes will have to go a long way to be defined and discussed. I recall a presidential candidate discussing with me. He said, Shegun, if you know that everybody wants to take at least 5,000 naira for refreshment money. He was the leader of one of the smaller parties. And he said, imagine you want 10,000 to be at a rally and they're all asking for refreshment money. So at 5,000 naira, that will be leading you to some 5 million naira just for one area, not even for one state. He said, multiply that all over the areas by 36 states. He said, it is not a game for no shishi, no money, no refreshment. People just need refreshment, transport money, organization money, and all the rest. But we'll continue to discuss this one. Don't go away. We'll be going for a short break. When we return, we want to compare the bank currency implementation in Britain and Nigeria. Both of them are changing their currencies, and we really want to see how they're doing it. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Merry Christmas, everybody. To you, our esteemed customers, we wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. We appreciate your support throughout the year, and we are looking forward to serving you next year. Taste bites. Giving you a taste band, a taste bites. Ciao.
This world, changing your mindset.
Thanks for staying with us at the News Echoes. We bring you African news and analysis for the global audience. I'm so glad you're still with us. Sir George, here in the United Kingdom, our currency has to change because Queen Elizabeth has gone high above and King Charles has taken over. That is the law here. And only yesterday, the new currency has been revealed. The portrait had the face of King Charles, and it's been designed for £5, £10, £20, and £50. And that is how far the similarities go with the Nigerian currency that has just been in place from 15th of December 2022, but it's going to phase out in Nigeria. The old currency is going out by the 31st of January 2023, something that many of us are still puzzled about, especially with the release of the British new currency, which will, let me read it for you, it will enter circulation from mid 2024. Nobody will use it until June 2024, and existing notes, we're talking of the British one now, the existing notes will still be accepted in shops after the new notes begin to circulate. And the reason of this was to ensure that there is a permeation into the various strata of the society. Sir George, you think Nigeria has thought it through, bringing it out on the December 15th date and closing it, ending it January 31st? Does it make sense, or is it because of politics, so that people will not spend this money to buy votes? That doesn't wash with me, but maybe is the correct thing, Sir George.
Well, if you think about it, if you have loads and loads of money in your house, and 31st December is the last time that you're supposed to
31st January.
January is supposed to be the end where you can use that money. What does that say to you? Therefore, what I'm going to do, I will offload everything that I have. I'll make sure that I share it to use it to buy votes or whatever. Because if I take it to the bank, they know they're going to be asking questions, and then fingers will be pointed at me. Therefore, all these loads of money that I have stored up, I'm going to have to, become a philanthropic politician by making sure that the cake is well shared with everybody, so that I can offload it rather than having it to be wasted. So I might as well use it to buy votes. But the point about it is there is a difference between, the reason why our currency all of a sudden is coming to be changed. It's as a result of the kind of corruption that we have and the mentality, hoarding mentality that we have. So, and you see them pushing into this e-naira thing, which is a modern type of, entering into the modern system of financial dealings. So, but they did it so quick and so fast, simply because there is something that they know. People are hoarding. I saw a few weeks ago from somewhere where they brought bags and bags of money, and when they bring the money, they touch it like this, and it's all fizzled away.
All rotten.
Rotten. So this is the mentality that we have, and why is that? If you're making your money the right way, why hoard all that money? So most of this money is coming through illegal means, either that you're stealing money from the government, or the government is doing this, but you don't want it to be seen. Look at what is happening, with the soccer, FIFA, where they went into somebody's house and found, $1.5 million cash. So this it's not only in Nigeria, but this has become our mentality and the way we do things. And that's what makes it to stink so bad. So the difference between Britain bringing in their money, phasing it out slowly. Look at America. America is still accepting their old $100 bill that we used many, many years ago when me and you, Dr. Johnson, was in the US. They're still accepting it today. Yes, the new ones are coming in, but every time what they do, when those new dollars come in, they don't dispense it out. They take it and they burn it. So, and then that's what they do.
That's to wash it out. Dr. Osita, contrasting it with the United Kingdom, you think it makes sense to give Nigerians 45 days to clear the old one, whereas in England, where they're supposed to be more literate in their villages and towns, they give them years to take away the old before it's finally near. Do you think that was a good one to do?
Okay, I don't know if you can hear me.
We can.
You hear
Look
me?
at me shaking my head. Say yes, we can hear you. Look at me, I'm shaking my head.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. If you're comparing and contrasting, there are two different things. Two different things are happening. We are changing the color of existing banknotes. We are not changing our currency. We are redesigning an existing currency. The United Kingdom is redesigning their currency. So it's taking them time. It's going to take them a long time to evolve in that. The two things are not the same. But like we all agreed here before, we gave ourselves very little time, which can be very risky because the outcome of this will be shown in the next 1 year or two. You will see what is going to happen. Already, the women in the market are rejecting the 1,000 naira because there was no campaign. No, a woman said to him, "This is Yahoo money." Somebody went to buy and was giving her the money. She ran away. She said, "No, I can't touch your Yahoo money." Men came and were talking to her. They said, "No." So one truck driver came and said, "Give me this new one and take the old one and pay." He paid with it, and the woman was happy. There was no awareness, no currency change education. Nothing has happened to our people. Our rural people are still in the dark. They don't understand it. This is Christmas. You go home now and give somebody a gift for 1,000 naira with the new note. They won't say thank you because they don't know what it is. So they don't know what it is. They don't know it is legal tender. They don't know. Because Nigeria, we did exactly what we're used to doing. Why didn't you start in January? If it is because we want to capture the Capones with their lots of dirty money, we'll start early. This is really too quick, and it's going to be a disaster in the next year. You see what will happen to the economy. But yes, it's a good thing that it's happening, but we have to be very patient and begin, even as family members, begin to educate our people, because it's going to affect local traders and their income. Their IGR will reduce because they're accepting little money, and they are going to market not sure whether they're going to sell or not. The people who are holding the old currency don't want to take that risk. They want to spend it all. So if you're comparing and contrasting, they are not the same. UK is doing something different from what Nigeria has done.
Thank you very much, sir. Bidi, I know you have an NGO in faraway Imo State. You think anybody give you money? Which one will you take? The old Naira or the new Naira, or both of them, or none?
Certainly, I would take both because I already have the knowledge. What we're talking about here is not even about me, it's about the people in the rural area. I saw that video that talked about, not just a lot of them, they feel that is a fake money. So many of them are rejecting that money. And like Dr. Oscar said, it's going to be a very big problem for Nigeria in a few months to come. Yeah, like you said, what's happening in the United States and what happened in Nigeria is two different things. A lot of people come up with this rumor that Nigerians embarrassed CBN Governor Emefiele when he made an attempt for presidency, and that actually has made him angry, because if you look at the way they come up with this policy of change of resigning our naira, it's so sudden. No orientation, no education, no information. Many people don't even know what you want to do, and you've just gone ahead. Now,
not even the Minister of Finance was aware of it.
Was aware. She was not even in the picture. For her to come to the media and say, "I don't know this. I'm not aware of this," and the president has to say, "I am aware of it." You can't just do such thing in a country like Nigeria, and the minister is not in the picture. You understand? So it's two different things. United Kingdom, they are doing their own because their queen died. There's going to be change of government. But what is being done in Nigeria, if I might withdraw the statement of others, is like witch hunting.
Okay, yeah. Let me talk to Dr. Ibe in Moscow, Russia. Dr. Ibe, the Nigerian government believe that it's just trying to push for cashless society. You cannot withdraw more than a certain amount of money per week. If you do, you'll be penalized. They want you to do all your transactions internally so that we can see you. Transparency. It's about cashless society and not about witch hunting any politician. What do you say, Dr. Obi?
Come on, even the most uneducated person on the street isn't that stupid to believe that. It's clear that there are multiple layers. There's the economic layer, and also maybe the social layer, and as well as the political layer. You cannot say it doesn't exist, but it's generally it's a good idea. It's a good policy. The problem we're all talking about is the timing. Now, but I want to say one thing. Even though England is changing their currency for, because of death of the Queen, all the same, and like Dr. Osita said, we are coloring our existing design. It's still the same thing in the sense that one legal tender becomes useless and another starts to work. And then that process is supposed to actually be a method for the CBN to save more money from the cost of seigniorage, make more money from the printing of this existing or reissue of this colored existing design, and also add that to government budget and spend on factors of production, capital expenditure, another investment that will uplift the life of Nigerians. It's a great opportunity for the CBN to make money or add money to the coffers of the government as part of their fiscal or monetary policy rather. Yeah, it was rushed, but we cannot say that because it was rushed, it shouldn't have happened. Because in Nigeria, as you know, until something happens, there's no drastic change in policy. If this is the catalyst that brings this cashless into being, then let's just accept it. Because if it doesn't happen, then it might take another decade for us to.
We just mindful of serious recession where the currency that is supposed to make the economy move, we have problems with it.
Yes,
but we'll be monitoring. Yes, Mark, go on. Yeah,
let me add to that. Actually, a lot of people don't know that the IMF has urged Nigerians to apply caution to all of these whole new Naira notes and things. It says we should avoid any misstep, and this could undermine the confidence of the financial system. So, and the IMF have said this about 2-3 times. In fact, they said it again last Friday through a lender's resident representative. So I don't know why the government is just doing all these things all of a sudden. We're having a hush kind of.
Well, Mark, this your contribution is so apt. Like the word currency from the word current. This is the current, like electric current, that makes things happen in the economy, and so it's not something you just tick in and out for political reasons. So anyway, Mark, I've been waiting to call you to tell us more about the Abia government. The Abia government says no work, no pay. You strike in Abia, you will pay for it. Your stomach will go empty. What are they saying exactly?
Yes, Dr. Shego. The Abia governor is the man called Yes, he has directed as a matter of policy. It's a matter of policy that henceforth the rule of no work, no pay must apply in the state. And his secretary to the government, one Chris Ezem, said this yesterday. We had it loud and clear. And they expressed worry that at the state of incessant strike by government established workers, and this strike is not helping. So they said they noted that this strike is retrogressive. It's not progressive in any way, and it's making a lot of people dormant. The government also said they are committed to pay genuine workers their entitlement. And they said they will also assist any attempt by any politician to blackmail or undermine well-being of innocent citizens by making them go on strike. So this is what's happening in Abia State.
I'm just mindful of the time. Thank you very much for that background story. For those of us who may not know, factors of production include capital, labor, managerial skills, entrepreneurship, and labor is very important. If you have the capital without the labor, and yet labor is the least paid. The only way the laborers can ask for more money is to go on strike to make their voice heard. And so people should understand why people go on strike. It's not just because they want to flex their muscles, it's because they are the least paid, and yet without labor, your capital means nothing. Your land as a factor of production means nothing until you get labor. So people now ask for money through strikes because the management is not listening to them. Having laid that one, Sir George, where two elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. Let's say medical doctors, teachers, nurses, they strike, no work, no pay. Who is going to suffer? The government officials who travel abroad for medical treatment, or the people who will be looking up to them? Sir George, quickly.
Well, it's it's quite clear, who is going to suffer. It is the people that are going to suffer. But the question is this: what is the difference between if I strike, I don't get paid? Because when I get paid, when I work, I don't get paid anyway. What's the difference? I might as well strike. There are so many of them actually that are working and they are not getting paid by these governments. So, you bringing this out in the open and say no work, no pay, this is one thing that, most of these governors, they become demigods. They don't want to, pay attention to the sufferings of the people. Look at Okezie. I was one of the people who installed that man there. I was there. I nearly lost my life in Abia because we were working for this man. And then we went to his house the following day, to rail him because of what happened. But he's been nothing but a disaster, complete and absolute disaster. If this man was intelligent enough, he could have built Abia to be the most best industrial state in the whole city
of West Africa.
But the point is, he is a useless man as far as I am concerned. We put him there, and he has been nothing but a complete and absolute disaster. So what I'm saying is this: it doesn't make any difference. I will let the people know. You go ahead. If you can get through striking, go ahead and strike. It doesn't matter, because most of you are working and not getting paid. So what is the difference anyway?
Billy in Lagos, in the Western world, people go on strike, unions go on strike, they don't get paid. But when they don't get paid, their employers lose more money than they should have lost. For example, the rail workers go on strike, they won't get paid. Maybe individually, you won't get your £200 a day. But globally, for the company, for the railway system, they lose over £5 billion in one day. So it is not in their interest not to get the workers there. But in Nigeria, such situation doesn't arise, does it?
Yeah, exactly. They don't care. Exactly, even in Nigeria, when the workers stop working, the government, the state will stop earning. Now, what is happening in Abia State is just a show of irresponsibility of the government. And what Nigerian government have adopted recently is government of intimidation. Now, people are working for you. You're not paying them. Even if when you pay them nothing. And now, the only way they can complain is by going for strike. And you're not telling them that no work, no pay. That's the government of intimidation. They keep intimidating people and they get away with it. It happens in action and nothing was done about it. The way media reported it, they reported it even in favor of the government. So, Okezie was coming up now to boldly say it. Because nothing will happen to him. Nobody will question him. And he'll do it and he'll get away with it. But like the judge said, I think they should continue with that strike. Because even if you start to working now, what are they paying you? They're paying you peanuts that cannot even do anything. So the best thing is for you to continue with the strike. Yes.
All right. All right, Dr. Sita, thank you, Bidi. Dr. Sita, no work, no pay. Ngige tried it like Bidi said, got away with it. So now, no work, no pay.
Yeah, I lived in Umuahia while I was working for Central Bank of Nigeria. It's funny that this can come out of.
Come on, we are listening to your story of Umuahia.
And now the threat is, if you don't work, I don't pay. So why not take the full course of action and then hope that one day the legal side of it will come to play? Because what would they do? I have lived in so many state capitals in this country. Abia is still the least developed by my perception. You know, it might not be the same for everybody else. The house where we lived in during the Biafran War, I went there as a child. I went there. I still saw that picture. Not even the color. So government is not doing anything for the people, and the people are there, you know, doing their best, and they still they don't want to pay them. It doesn't make sense. It means that apart from impunity, there is now intimidation. Too much power.
Dr. Johnson.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Quickly.
You remember what Dr. Godwin was saying, that most countries, you know, when they do not, or you said that, if they don't pay, you know, their workers, they lose money. But, you know, the system of government in Nigeria and the financial system is quite different. So now let me tell you what is going on. You know, this is another way of him taking people's money legally. He's going to store all that money he would have paid them and put it in his own pocket.
Allegedly.
What is allegedly? That's what he's going to do.
Please, I want to give Dr. Ibe a chance. Dr. Ibe, quickly. No work, no pay. But you cannot strike in Moscow, can you, Dr. Ibe?
You know, what they should tell him is that don't keep quiet and get ready to be voted out. Don't keep quiet and get ready to be voted out. Or they should tell him, what next? No application, no employment, no purchase, no delivery. You know, where we getting paid without working.
He's on his second time.
Yes, the thing that gives people this effrontery is because of the short-term, you know, what do I call it? You know, bribery and short-term buying of votes. Not even the tenure. Like people voting, governors because of a bag of rice, because of short-term, you know, handouts. If politicians know that your vote is expensive, they know that you're not cheap. They need to prove beyond short-term handouts that they are the right one to be voted in. All this nonsense will not happen. So because they believe they can get away with it,
I have to allow Mark. The World Cup has just been concluded, and it was concluded on Nigeria Showboys. Davido was there, Stonebwoy was there. Come on, tell me more.
Yes, Dr. Shago. History-making event. Nigeria wasn't there to play the match, but Nigerian superstars were all there from the beginning of the event to the end. We collaborated, Nigerian artists collaborated with other artists. Aisha, there is this Aisha from there in Qatar. There's another lady called Chidada something. And Davido was there in that last performance. He put up a very good show, regardless of what had just happened to him. The unfortunate incident of his son. Yes, sir.
Well, we congratulate Nigeria. Our ambassadors are doing very well. It's my last duty to wish you a Merry Christmas. Bidi in Lagos, Sita in Abuja, Sir George in Toronto, Godwin in we have two Godwins, Dr. Godwin in Moscow, Russia, and least but not the least, Sir Mark in Milan. Until Friday, when we bring you World Affairs, this has been News Echoes, bringing Africa news analysis to a global audience. My name is Sheikh Johnson. God bless you all.